Hey, what's up everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to talk about some games I've been playing on my Steam Deck, predominantly emulation, so if that sounds good to you, stay tuned. So, we're back on the Steam Deck. I'll be showing some gameplay up here, you know, just the games. I like to do that now. I think it's quite a good format. If you let me know in the comments, I can kind of tweak to what you like to prefer to watch, I guess. I think this format is quite cool because you can see the gameplay and I can just ramble on in the corner. So if you prefer to watch the gameplay, you can just listen to me in the background rambling, or if you prefer to look at me speaking, then fair dues. So yeah, games I've been playing over the last couple of weeks. I think I did a video recently where I picked up a few games on my Steam Deck and I have been playing them, but not as much as I thought I might be playing them because I have a friend that comes around every few weeks for a catch up, and he brings his Steam Deck and ROG Ally, and we're always talking about emulation and just tweaking. How can we get the best performance? What kind of battery life can we get? And mainly just about emulating. So he's been flexing to me how he can play PS3 games on his ROG Ally, and I'm like, yeah, that's cool, bro. But you're getting about 40 minutes worth of battery life, and it's screaming at you. It's red hot. Probably going to burn his SD cards out. That's been a problem recently with the Allies. And I'm like, yeah, PS3 games are cool to emulate, but quite a few PS3 games for me have already made their way to Steam anyway, or they were released on PC aside. So PS3 for me in a major seller for me for emulation. I prefer PS2 and lower than that. And recently I've been playing a lot of PS2. I had two Steam Decks and I actually sold one of them because it was just collecting dust. It was really just sat on my shelf and I was looking at it thinking, yeah, that's a nice bit of kit. Anyway, picks up with a Steam Deck. So it was more just a case of why not just sell it and then just use the SD card, because I was using it for an emulation device. So what I did was I just took the SD card out of the one that I just sold, and then I'm just swapping it in and out of my original, which is the camo bad boy. This is the Snake Eater edition, as I like to call it. If you go back further on in my video library, you'll see that I actually skinned this on the channel, and this is the unofficial Steam Deck. It is a Steam Deck, but it is the unofficial Snake Eater Steam Deck, purely just because of the green camo. But that's really all Metal Gear Solid 3 is about, right? Camouflage. So I just literally thought, screw it, I'll swap it out. And then, to be fair, I won't really be fussed about swapping it. I'm not that lazy. So although I did swap it out and put the emulated card in, all my ROMs and everything, and it hasn't left the Steam Deck since. The card with all the AAA titles has just kind of been in my drawer, gathering dust, whilst I've just been blasting through a load of emulated games. So yeah, that was a very long, rambly intro, but we'll get into some gaming now. So the main game I've been trying to complete over this last few weeks, and I know you're going to see some early footage here, but trust me, I've been playing it quite a lot. Picked it up a few weeks ago in bed, and the Steam Deck, and I had a massive urge to play Metal Gear Solid 2, just because I absolutely love how weird and wacky the ending is. It just goes so bonkers, and it actually freaked me out really badly when I first played it. You'll understand if you've played Metal Gear Solid 2, but the ending, like, starts going real fourth wall and meta on you, and it's so weird. And I really was desperate to get back on Metal Gear Solid 2 after thinking about it, and you guys all know that Metal Gear Solid 3 is the best game of all time, according to me. And yeah, I don't really give Metal Gear Solid 2 enough love, so I went back and started playing it again. To be fair to myself, I've played it a few times, but I did replay it on the Xbox Series X last year, so it's not like I never play number 2. I just really wanted to play it on a handheld device, and I also wanted to play it on the PS2 emulator, just because although the HD version is, don't get me wrong, the best way of playing the game, but I just really wanted to go back to the OG, you know, like the original PS2 version. It is the Substance Edition, but it's the original. It's like the PlayStation 2 game, and without flexing, because this is not, and this isn't a massive flex because this game literally sells for pennies now, but yeah, I just love the box art. The box art for number 2, I don't know if I prefer it to Snake Eater. There's just something about the silver, I don't know if you guys can see that, but the silver text on the back of the box and just the art style, it's such a nice box art. It's always stuck in my mind for I don't know, one of my favourite box arts of all time? That's a good question, to be fair, guys. I really do love artwork and box arts and everything, so if you want to put in the comments what your favourite box art is of all time, I'll check them out because I'm really interested. I really do love box art design. And the dude who does the artwork for Metal Gear Solid, I can't remember his name. I don't even want to attempt to say it in case I butcher it, but yeah, I love his art style, and the box art for number 2 is insane. So, although controversially has Snake on the front, and you don't really play as Snake the whole game. So, the other game I've been trying to finish is Metal Gear Solid 1. I know I started this a while ago on PS1, but the Ducky emulator kind of messed up for me and I haven't been bothered to go fix it. But since I reinstalled everything back on the deck, I've just literally got the Ducky Station emulator working again, and it's kept my old save. So I jumped back in that, and running the Ducky emulator on the Steam Deck is so good. I got it bumped up to like 1080p, and I'm running it at like 7W TDP. So it's not only do you get an insane battery life, the games look really crispy, obviously retaining the PlayStation elements. They're not going to look amazing at 1080p, but they do look really sharp, which is good. And yeah, Metal Gear Solid 1, really do love it. I was playing Twin Snakes, but then I thought, kind of wasn't developed by Kojima, and I kind of wanted to see how he envisioned the game first. And then I'll go on to the guys who developed Twin Snakes for the GameCube and see how they envisioned it. I've heard that there's a lot of difference in the cutscenes. Twin Snakes cutscenes are way more wacky. The story's like way overacted. They really just took Kojima's style and was like, yeah, let's go balls to the wall. After seeing the other games, because obviously Twin Snakes Remaster came out after Metal Gear Solid 2, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure it did, obviously. But yeah, been playing that as well. Really fun. And haven't been playing this long, but I jumped over to Pokemon Blue for like an hour because by the way, playing a Pokemon game on the Steam Deck is overkill. I wouldn't really recommend it. It looks ridiculous on the screen, although it works perfectly, of course, but it's just way overkill. I'd get like a smaller emulator. I got this one on hand. It's the Ambernic RG351. Just play Pokemon on something like this. You don't need to play it on the Steam Deck, but I realised that the triggers are mapped to the fast forward button, so I don't know, I got really addicted to just starting the game and just fast forwarding and seeing how quickly I could level up my starting Pokemon, just because you're cutting out all the BS by just using the fast forward button, and you can really just hammer away at that grind. Like, you stopped me from playing a lot of Pokemon games back in the day because they didn't really have a big XP share across the whole team. I ended up just leveling my fucking main Pokemon and he was way OP, and then some weakness had come against him, and then I'd be screwed really because my other Pokemon were as high level, so I'd have to go back and retrain. Happened all the time for me in the older games. I'm just lazy at swapping in and out of Pokemon. So yeah, going back to this, Pokemon Blue, I've never played the older gen, so Pokemon Blue, Yellow for the Game Boy Color. My original Pokemon game was Fire Red, so yeah, although I do have a really nice, you've seen it in previous videos, but my Game Boy Color, I did get that when I was younger, but I just have really no knowledge of playing it that well. I was obviously really young when I got it. It's a nice collectible though, I will say. But yeah, Steam Deck and playing the Pokemon games is way OP, but it is really fun to mess around with the fast forward feature, so you can really just get the grind over and done with. Couple more games I've been playing recently. On the PSP side of things, I booted up a couple of PSP games because the Steam Deck runs PSP perfectly, and you can bump up the resolution to like 720, 1080. Tekken Dark Resurrection. I think it's Dark Resurrection. Yeah, Tekken Dark Resurrection. Such a fun fighting game. I think it's a rip on Tekken 5, but like a portable version. But I used to go to like electronic stores in the airports back in the day, looking for my next purchase, you know, to see me through on the plane and the holiday. And Tekken Dark Resurrection always used to be there, and I'd used to see it and I'd be like, do I really want to spend this much money on a PSP game, a fighting game at that? Like, is it worth it? And then I just never ended up buying it, and now I just play it all the time. Like, when I have a bit of free time and I fancy a fighting game, I'll hop on Tekken, It'll be some version of it, so I'm hopping around the PS2 version at the minute. So Tekken 5 and Dark Resurrection, both pretty interchangeable, really fun. Super excited for the new Tekken to come out, buzzing about that. But yeah, as far as emulation goes, the PSP game, so fun. Tekken 5, really good as well. And as far as other PSP games go, Chinatown Wars, GTA Chinatown Wars, super fun. Like, also developed nearby as well, developed in Leeds, which isn't too far away from me. That obviously isn't a thing anymore, Rockstar Leeds got shut down a while ago. But Chinatown Wars, if you've never played it, is like a top-down GTA game. It's like a spin-off of the regular series, but I really love the art style. It was like 2.5D, but like top-down. And you played as, I think his name's Lo Wang, don't quote me on that, but yeah. It's got like a whole story with like triads and like gangs and everything, and you can do like drug trades, get little scratch cards from the corner shop. It's just super fun. It came out on free to the regular DS first, and then made its way over to PSP. But yeah, I just think it's a proper underrated Grand Theft Auto game. I think everyone should play it at some point, you know, give it a little go. But yeah, really fun. My next game to get on is Tekken Dark, or Joan of Arc, basically, like Joan d'Arc. But I've heard Metal Jesus and everyone hyped this game up to be a super good turn-based game that never really made it off the PSP. So it's literally just on the PSP. I don't think it's on any other console. And it's like a retelling of the Joan of Arc story. So set in France. I don't know much about Joan of Arc, kind of why I want to play it. But it looks like a really fun, I mean, it's not obviously not realistic because you're fighting monsters and stuff, but it has an element of history to it. But it looks like a really fun tactical game, and I'm a really big fan of tactical games, so I'm planning on jumping on that soon. I'm really excited to get onto that, and yeah. Also played a bit of Pursuit Force, but I just chip away at that every now and again. That's a really fun game. It's like an on rails style game where you play as a special agent dude, and you've got point A to point B, and then you've got loads like a different group of crime syndicates that you're fighting in each level. So you've got like a convicts group, you've got like different, like the mafia, and basically a lot of the levels consist of you in your police vehicle, and you've got to make your way up the ranks. Like there's a load of cars in the way, you've got to shoot everyone and jump up and down. You'll see it in the video, but it's just a super fun little pick up and play game. Like you can do a level at a time. I just think that's awesome, and yeah, another game I've been playing recently. So, like I said before, guys, let me know in the comments about some box arts that you've seen or you just remember from a while ago. I'll flex another one, little bonus for you. I'm really proud I picked this up recently, not recently, but back before it was way overpriced. It's actually Silent Hill 2. It's the OG, I think it's just the regular version, not even the director's version. But absolutely love how vintage this looks, super grungy. Big fan of Silent Hill 2, definitely one of the best games on PS2 for sure. Only just recently played that about a year ago, but yeah, it holds up. I mean, the gameplay is tank controls to the max. The acting is extremely cheesy, but it has such a unique, weird, eerie charm to it. I love the atmosphere, it's so good. It is one of the most listened to game soundtracks I think I've ever listened to. Have this thing on repeat when I'm reading like stories that really need an ambient atmosphere and just dark kind of stories. I've been reading the manga Monster recently, you probably can't see it, but I listen to a lot of that kind of soundtrack with Monster. It gives me like a really cool serial killer vibe, I don't know. But yeah, a little flex. I really like the box art for this. It's not in perfect condition, but it gives it that kind of gritty feel. But yeah, another example of a cool box art. Yeah, so let me know in the comments, and yeah, I'll speak to you guys soon.